Hello, creation. This is Derek with Denver Yoga Underground. I want to share a cornerstone idea that underlies a myriad of different yoga practices, whether that's asana or pranayama or meditation or within the historic texts. This principle shows up across the board. And that's just this, that your thoughts are reflected in the manner in which you breathe. So if you're depressed, for example, mentally, you'll have a more lethargic tone to your breathing. Or if you're excited, you'll have a more stimulated or excited tone in your breath. Or if you're anxious, similarly, that will be reflected. Now, this isn't an idea that yogis came up with so much as something that is pre-existent. It's already biologically there. And their contribution or mastery then was to optimize this relationship. So typically, it's the mind is leading how you breathe, and the breath just kind of coming along for the ride. But you can also reverse engineer this. So if you bring more intentionality to your breath, you can shape your breath in a manner that's going to have a specific psychological outcome. It'll influence the way that you think. So if you're anxious, for example, you can change the manner in which you breathe and feel less anxious mentally. And more, you just keep following this through line into meditation, and the breath can become both the breath and the mind become incredibly still and subtle. So that's sort of the ultimate direction. Yoga is more pointed, and we can use it more in a kind of like therapeutic, pedestrian kind of way as well. A couple examples of that. In your existing asana practice, I invite you to become more intentional about the full range of your inhalation and exhalation. What I commonly see in class is people have a kind of default around 70%. If you could push that into 80, 85%, something like that, where you're like and kind of expanding the fullness of your inhalation and exhalation. More often than not, that just means slowing down a bit. I think there's a lot of insight to be had just by virtue of that practice. In tandem or separately, also explore just coming into a baseline of one-to-one breathing. So maybe that's a 4-count inhalation, 4-count exhalation, like this. And you can practice this not just only on a mat or in seated meditation, but like driving about town. Of course, you want to be mindful of your surroundings as you do this, or before you go to bed at night, just focusing on this even one-to-one ratio of breath, developing greater connection, and it rubs off. Right, I'm proposing these kind of like formal moments of practice, but really the miracle and the boon and the love and the insight of all this is to have like greater insight throughout your day and understand yourself more completely. And one of the simplest ways we can do that is start to become more conscious in how we regulate our breath. That will then be reflected in our mind, and we're on the yoga journey. All right, peace, friends. Thanks to all my subscribing friends, and I appreciate our time here together. Peace.